So today we're going to have a look at some suspension and give you a brief overview of why it is that you're going to be looking at changing out the componentry on your car. First of all, suspension. What does it actually do for you? Well, it's going to keep your tyre in contact with the road as much as possible. That way you get all the benefit of those modifications that you made to the car, making it go quicker, stop better, turn harder. It's crucial to keep your tyre in contact with the road. That's what your suspension is there to do. But it will do that at the same time as giving you a decent level of ride quality within the car. So now that we know what the suspension is going to do for you, why are you going to look at changing it out? Well, for me, it's about a few things. Let's look at repairing it. You could have some broken componentry on the car, a shock that's bust and just bounces around. You could have a spring that's broken. Maybe your MOT guy's been really helpful and give you a long list of things to do. That's one reason that you might be looking at it. Alternatively, you could be looking at the looks aspect of the car. You could be looking to lose that arch gap. You could be looking to make it look lower, meaner, more aggressive. And we can do that too with regards to changing out some suspension. Alternatively, you could be looking at trying to go for the handling aspect, getting some more performance through the corners so you can really start getting in there and getting really involved. Something that the original suspension isn't cut out to do because it was designed to be something that's for everyday use. So let's have a look at these standard springs that we were talking about then. So a standard spring, thank you very much, is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a standard spring and it is a great item to replace the OE version that's on the car. The ones that we sell are better than OE with regards to their quality, so it's a great option to go for. While you're changing out the springs that you've got, it's a good idea to look at shock absorbers. Thank you very much, hand from below. So we have a standard shock absorber which is going to control the movement of the standard spring. Very good idea to do the two at the same time considering you've got the components apart. For me though, you're going to be changing out like for like, so standard for standard. I always like to look at improving the car when I'm doing something to it. I'm sure you do too. So let's have a look at something along the lines of a lowering spring. As if by magic. This lowering spring is progressively wound, so it's a cracking little piece of kit. So this one has got different gaps in between the spring as you move up. So you can see that this one's progressively wound. It's going to be a little bit firmer. The more you lean on it into the corners, it's going to start responding better for you. So lowering springs, definitely a plus for me. It gives you that lowering amount that you want. It gives you that handling capability that you want. It's a fantastic price point, so you can get involved in the suspension side of modification for not a lot of money. Other bonus points to this is the fact that it's going to work with your OE shocks, so you don't need to change them out if they're in a serviceable condition. However, I'd recommend swapping them out for something performance as well. Let's have it, thank you very much, canned hand. So a performance shock absorber is designed to control the performance spring in a better way, so that it's going to be able to control the extra pressure that you're putting onto the car and respond accordingly. Because you're dropping the car by around about 40 mil normally that some springs will do for you, you need to bear in mind that you could be looking at a shortened shock absorber like this one here. Thank you very much. So, no, are you going to help? Thank you very much. So with this one, you can see that there is a visual difference in the piston rod height. The difference between those two is around about that difference that you're going to find in the travel of your suspension thanks to the lowering springs that you put on it. They're a great idea to fit together while you've got the car apart. You can often get a cost saving by buying the two at the same time as well. So a suspension kit is covered on our website by many different manufacturers. You can get a lot of these shock absorbers with adjustable damping, which is going to control how quickly that damper opens and closes and how that ride feels within the car. Now, the downside with this is that you are limited to a predetermined lowering amount that the manufacturer has decided is going to be great for your car. To get around something like that, you can go for a coilover. A coilover like this, here's one I made earlier. So this one is kind of entry level with regards to a coilover. It does adjustable ride height and adjustable ride height alone. Now it's a great unit, it's great quality, it's great build, but the only thing that this is going to allow you to do is change that ride height. You can change the front and back to any orientation that suits you basically and how you want the car to look, and maybe get it away from that wedge look that's there at the moment, flatten it off, or maybe give it that wedge look if you want it to. Now there is other options with regards to coilovers. You can spend a bit more money and go for something like a two-way KW Club Sport coilover. Now this will allow you to control the compression and the release of the shock absorber individually so that you can control how quickly it will compress and how it reacts and how quickly it will extend afterwards. So it gives you a lot more adjustability if you're going to take this car maybe on track now and again, or if you do some more spirited driving. Again, with that, you can change your ride height, so you can change that for the track or when you're at home. And it's got some geometry adjustability as well. So if you take it quite far, it might take it out of the normal realms of geometry that the car would like. So you can actually change that up at the top here. Okay, so coilovers are something that we would call static because the ride height of the car is going to be set until you take the wheel off and adjust it yourself. What you could do is go for something with regards to a airbag, which will allow you to deflate the bag when you get to where you're going and get that stuck in the weeds look. So if getting in the weeds is your thing, guys, then air suspension is the way for you. Supermarkets have coined the phrase, but we believe it too. Bags are certainly for life. Thank you, kind sir. So air suspension consists of an airbag sat on top of strut, losing the coil spring that's there originally, a tank, a compressor and a controller to be able to adjust the ride height and the pressure at each corner of the car. Now these things are absolutely ideal if you end up getting yourself to a show. You want to drive there without taking the sump off, get there in style, drop it on its ass. That's the ideal thing. This is what they can do for you. So air suspension is the way to go, guys. But that does come at a cost, and these little babies are going to be at the top end of the price bracket. There are other things that you can do, as we've covered off in the other categories, which allow you to get that done at a far lower level. So now you've got your information with regards to making your purchase, but just before you click that button, there are some other things to consider, like Powerflex bushes, like this one, or maybe some anti-roll bars like that, or a strut brace like that. All of these will help stiffen up the suspension that you've got on the vehicle. Great if you're going to go down the performance route rather than the visuals. Now guys, if you're going to take your suspension apart, making sure that you get your alignment sorted out is crucial to get the benefits out of the suspension modifications that you've made. You want to make sure you get that done first job, guys, otherwise it's not going to work out for you and you'll get the wrong impression with regards to the suspension. So in a nutshell, there's suspension for you, and we've got a choice of different options for you depending on what you're going to be doing with the car and what your price point's going to be. There's plenty of options to choose from, and if this isn't ticking the box for you with regards to getting that detail, we've got some more videos coming up which will be more useful for you. In the meantime, you can always ring our telesales guys. They're available for you through the week. Hit that notification bell, like and subscribe, and you'll see the next ones that we've got coming up.